Hi class. I'm struggling a little bit with this screencast software, so hopefully this works this time. So a little bit about myself. I actually have a minimal experience of doing full-blown research projects where I'm, presenting my own information. I do remember doing a research proposal class in one of my classes. I believe that was in political science, but it was kind of an elementary level class for learning about different methods of research proposal. And then I do remember my senior capstone class where we were using multiple disciplines and did kind of an interdisciplinary study, or review article. So that was kind of an extensive, almost like a research project, but however, I am experienced in doing review articles or essays or whatever you want to call them. Both of my international studies degree for bachelor's and this degree in Masters of Education are both pretty much heavy in writing. Um, Below you can see my degree. I graduated in 2015 for bachelor's in international studies, and I've learned with doing these review articles, time management and only writing a page or two at a time. So I stay focused on my writing. Otherwise, my writing tends to go down quite a bit. So a little bit about the readings. I did learn a good bit about the different research methods. The quantitative research, where you begin with your theory or hypothesis and you kind of test it with your studies. Qualitative research method, you started without your own hypothesis, and the results of the studies will help you determine kind of the direction of your research. And then the mixed methods one, which I believe is the hardest to understand, but this was using both of the research methods. And then I was really surprised by the multitude and kind of how many boxes you have to check with whether it's ethics, consent forms, special populations, and review boards, that you really have to do your due diligence and making sure that you check all the boxes. So I was really surprised about that. I've learned a good bit about those things previously, but reading and doing the city training definitely opened my eyes. And then a little bit about the training as well. I was really the data security part kind of opened my eyes, where the researcher might collect the data correctly, but if you don't make sure that your data is secure, your project might be under a threat, kind of like the T3 study. And then obtaining consent, the different forms, and I was interested, and I didn't think that there would be populations that are not accustomed to signing forms, and the researcher might have to consider alternative ways to obtain consent in the study participation. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then I was also surprised how recently the protections were added to prisoners' rights in regards to research ethics. And my significant takeaways, I learned a good bit about the different types of internal board reviews. The exempt review, which involved minimal risk to the participants. Next one was the expedited review, that these were also minimal risk studies, but they necessarily didn't meet the criteria, such as the digital and voice recordings. And then full review ones where you either had special groups like prisoners or children, or the information collected was highly sensitive, so you might have to go through the internal board review. So anyways, I felt like it was an information blast, and I still have a lot to learn, but I'm looking forward to the class, and hopefully I will learn a lot.